All right, in this video, we are going to complete the challenge, and that is to set up a project for Project Lombok. So cancel that. What I've done is I created a project, and this will be getting checked into GitHub, and you'll have the link for it. And I haven't done anything other than set up the initial POM. I use Maven to create the project. So we got the POM, the basic standard directory structure, nothing really in it right now. And I did go in and add in the properties that we've been using all along to set up for Java 11 and set up the Java Maven compiler to the proper Java version as well. What we want to do is bring in the Lombok dependency first. So let's jump over to Maven Central, or Maven repository. This is an index over Maven Central. And I've got the Lombok project up, and we can see that it just came out a couple months ago, the latest release, and it's 18.4. So if I come over here, 18.4, and we can see right away that copies it to the clipboard for us. And I'm going to come back over here, and I just need to add in the dependency section. And then I can paste that in, and we don't need to leave that URL there. So it's recommending scope provided. That should be okay, I think. We will change that if we need to. And let's come over here and create a new package. I'm going to call that Guru Spring Framework model for the package. And we'll create the new class, call it user, like so. And now all we got to do is let's do private string first name and last name. I think we said email too. Like so. And then we want to add in the Lombok annotation. So let's do at data. You can see that IntelliJ picked that right up. And we wanted the no args, all args, and then also builder. And we can get rid of that little space there, make it nice and compact. So that's all we need to do as far as creating the class. And now what's going to happen is Lombok's going to go ahead and enhance this class for us. The one thing that we do want to do for IntelliJ, though, is we want to come up to project settings. Let's see here, build, compiler, Java compiler, annotation processors. Forgot exactly where is that. You want to make sure that you've enabled annotation processing. So this is an important step. It's not enabled by default. And what's happening is annotation processing is a way to put a hook in and do a transformation of the class as it's going through the processor. So basically, it's a hook into the compiler, so it changes the structure of the code. So it tells the compiler, it allows us to enhance the code. So pretty complicated stuff, and I'm going to be honest, I don't fully understand it. The guys at Lombok are wizards, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and apply that and say, okay. That is an important step for IntelliJ users. For Eclipse and NetBeans, I'm really not sure what needs to happen there. Lombok does have IDE-specific instructions on their site if you are interested. So now let's come into Maven, and we will just come in and let's do a package goal on that. And this is going to be a pretty simple project, but the main thing we want to be getting out of it is being able to take a look at the target. And we can see generated sources, our classes. And here's our user class. We can see there's a lot more there. Just going through seeing if there's any other things. So we just have the no generated sources, but under our classes, let's take a closer look at this. So we don't actually get source code generated, but we can see that we've decompiled that. And remember, we just declared the first name, last name, and email in our class. And now we can see that we have a builder, We have getters and setters for the properties. We have an equals method that has been implemented. Can equal. We have hash code. We have toString. We have a no args constructor, an all args constructor. And then there's our builder, where it's going to take first name, last name, email, and do that build. And then the build is going to return back a object using the all args constructor. So this actually works really nice. And then we have the toString. And just to give you a little insight here, the data annotation, that is a meta annotation. Let's download that. So when you use data, it's giving you getter, setter, required args constructor, toStrings, equals, and hash code. So it's like a combination annotation for Lombok. And then we have the no args, all args, and builder. If you want to learn more about Lombok, that's really outside the scope of the course, I suggest going out their website. They got some really good documentation and examples on it. So I'm not going to be able to do a deep dive on Lombok by any means in this, but this is a really simple example. And I want to show you how Maven will go and build Lombok annotated classes for us. We can see that we just asked it for these 3 properties in Java, and then we added in these 4 annotations. And if we come over to the class that was compiled, we can see that we have 154 lines of decompiled code. So quite a bit of functionality there with the getters and setters and the equals and the builder pattern. And the one thing I've been using Lombok a lot and having the builder pattern, I've always liked the builder pattern, but if you've ever had to hand code a builder pattern, it is a pain, a pain to hand roll. So having an annotation that generates a builder pattern is really, really nice to have. So just to recap, we added in 1 class with the 4 Lombok annotations. And the only thing we had to do is add in the Lombok dependency with a provided scope. And then we set up our standard Maven setup with Java 11 and setting the compiler versions, the source and the target to Java 11. So pretty simple project, but I hope you got a lot of value out of seeing how annotation processing can actually generate code for us through the Maven compile process.